wanted to use this door.
Right through here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a very valid concern. Like we know that there are, a lot of trucks that use this route. We know that the dump trucks come through here. So, as part of that traffic analysis, we'll be looking at the turn radii, like how much can we narrow in these corners. Currently, we've got pretty wide angles that people can come around. So when they're turning, if you're riding, they're not going to be turning like from that 90-degree angle, which we really like because then they can physically see you. We have there are two in and outs of this, so definitely want to look at, is there a possibility to like maybe shift things around, have the bikes, bike access on both sides, take down a lane. I know we have people that are parking along here. It's not signed for parking, but it's occurring. It's still 2 lanes of travel. These are some pretty wide lanes, so obviously we have to leave that with for the trucks, because the truck route does come through this portion. But we want to narrow things down as much as possible. I think, no matter what side we put it on, we're still going to have conflicts with people turning. If it's on the north side, people are going to come down the bridge and then make that, whip around that turn. They would be, maybe seeing you, but the same for either side. It's something we have to look at, and we will be looking at.
Would you consider the possibility of closing this southern side to vehicles so that all trucks were routed to the westbound section, which is the truck route? I don't think trucks are legally permitted to drive on this eastbound section unless they're doing local deliveries. So closing this to trucks and routing them this way towards the truck route is something that some of us have been discussing, bouncing ideas between us, because that would also eliminate turning vehicles.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely something we would, can look at if you want to talk about it. Sounds like you've got some ideas. If you want to talk about it further, absolutely, let me know. And
what part is the truck route that you have to keep? Are you saying it's both clover lanes? Do you guys know?
I didn't check the map, but
Yeah.
I would think you would
What was
go
the
at
truck
least
route?
to North Capitol. I don't know
Yeah.
the eastern
So
route.
the truck route is
Yeah.
supposed to stop, I believe, at 7.
Yeah, on the other, right on the other side.
Yeah, just as and I can show you the litany of photos. There's consistent trucks, trash trucks, dump trucks, semis that travel the whole distance from here to South Dakota. It's an issue that neighbors have raised with DDOT consistently, both the eastbound and the westbound trucks, because all of it actually is supposed to be no truck route. What we heard from DDOT, and I will, without throwing him under the bus, I'll quote Rolando Baker, that trucks are, DDOT's perspective is that if trucks are going westbound, they're allowed to use Taylor to go to the Port Triton transfer station if they're moving from wherever their last pickup was to there, which obviously gives full agency to the truck drivers to decide what the best route is. So as you're thinking about this, and particularly as we get to the narrow sections between 12th and 13th place and 13th, consider that there will be a heavy volume of trucks moving through there, at least currently, unless the bike lanes are going to be combined with maybe some policy decision choices on DDOT's part about permitting trucks through that area.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we know that that's an issue. When we were out on our site walks, our staff site walks, we saw all the trucks coming through there. Prompted me to go look up what the map said, and we saw all the no truck signs that had been put up. Narrowing again that traffic calming. I don't know if that would help with that. Slow everything. I mean, it'll definitely slow everything down. So whether or not they're still coming through, they wouldn't be able to do so as quickly.
It makes it less attractive.
But we understand. We know that's a major issue. Yeah, for the area.
Did we talk about like if there's the opportunity to have a direct protected connection from the two-way to the MBT yet, or?
Yeah, I think that's definitely something we want to look at. There's like we said, there's a good bit of right of way here.
So it'd be like making one of these
one way, or we can look into seeing if it would make sense to do two-way. Can drop a couple contacts and look at them and see. I know there already is a curb cut on this side, so the south side, if we continued everything down, there's an existing curb cut for access onto the MBT here versus I don't believe there's one up on this side. So obviously we would want to be putting people where it's accessible.
Does anyone know this parking, is that overflow from Catholic University here?
I would imagine,
It
yeah.
looks like it's all unregulated.
Catholic parking is kind of unregulated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Generally. And then especially in the morning time, you'll get a lot of trucks along here too.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good to know.
Any other questions? Can we carry on? Okay.
Where's our next stop?
The next stop, I think it's worthwhile to talk about the Michigan and intersection and Taylor intersection. There's like a crosswalk daylight right before that intersection that I think we can kind of bunch behind and use the sidewalk also. So there's some street and sidewalk space.
So
Narrow sidewalk.
if we're going all the way to Michigan, can we talk real quick about the 10th Street area?
Absolutely.
So there was a couple letters from Mundo Verde and other community members about how much cut through there is from Varnum to Taylor, Varnum Upshur to Taylor.
Yeah.
Obviously there's signs, but
Yeah.
people have not been reading them.
Absolutely.
So we were wondering if it would be possible to make those alleys one way, to put in speed bumps, or just to close the entrances on Taylor, because it's a highway going right through
Yeah.
people's backyards right now.
Thank you. Definitely all things we can consider. I don't know what our policies for those are in terms of what it would take to close an alley versus maybe doing, again, looking at narrowing an entrance, making it less attractive, kind of quasi-traffic calming for an alley, which is not something we typically do, but we also don't have people typically using them as cut-throughs.
Which is what we've heard, that we don't normally do those treatments for alleyways, but Ward 6 has closed alleyways one ways and speed bumps in alleyways.
Okay.
And we would like them in Ward 5 as well.
Yeah, when I worked on Franklin Street a few years ago, very similar. We had issues with people cutting through the alleys there. Our safety team looked at it. I think they put in some small treatments here and there. I don't believe they were able to close.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll certainly look at it.
I mean, that would help. Like we have heart-wrenching videos of kids and parents going to school, and people are just that anxious to get to work.
Yeah, that's when and the neighbors are all along Barnum, Taylor 10th around there are pretty united with the school community on that issue.
Yeah.
Just both sides of the alley being a problem. Kelly John Olson in your outreach office goes to Mundo Verde and sees it, so she's a good
And one more treatment that the school community, especially and anybody in that area, would love is a contraflow bike lane coming south down 10th, so that bikers don't have to take alleyways and sidewalks.
Continue
I mean,
12.
a lot of people already do, myself included, because it's just safer, and there's not a ton of traffic going up 10th that time of day.
Yeah. But we don't want to be encouraging people to sell them, for sure.
And that's in Safe Routes to School safety assessment plan for Mundo Verde from a couple years ago. So great.
Good reference. Thanks.
What are the blocks again?
So it's 10th Street is kind of it's both sides, the alleyways on both sides of 10th, all the way down to 12th.
Okay.
And 10th becomes one way after Taylor, north,
Yeah,
right?
I believe it does.
Well, I'm thinking about it south, north,
Yeah, no,
south, but north up.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the contraflow is from Taylor to Varnum. And then one-way
Right.
section.
Right. Exactly.
And then after Taylor, it's two-way again. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you for
Yeah.
that diversion.